Coordinator. Delighted to have you all here today, and I'm tuning in from Ballyhonus in Mayo, where it's lovely and snowy here today. Myself and my partner and Liam and the German Shepherd were out running around in the snow there a while ago, so I'm nice and warmed up. I'm going to spend a bit of time. I know we're gone a little bit over, so I'm just going to take you through briefly what the Healthy Club project is all about, where we've came from, where we're at now, some examples of what clubs are focusing on, and then some of our future plans for clubs that are interested in the next steps. So you can see the definition there on the screen of what a healthy club is. I suppose it's quite a long definition. I suppose in short, the healthy clubs basically they're transforming their clubs into hubs for health within their community. And how they do this, I suppose, is at looking at their policies within the club, their partnerships, what activities they're driving, and they look at the overall physical and cultural environment within the club, and just to make sure that those elements are promoting health rather than hindering health. So as we move on, you'll hear a bit more about healthy eating. It's an example that a club could maybe bring in a healthy eating policy, link in with maybe your local partnerships that are in the area to roll out maybe a healthy eating initiative that could be virtually, it could be online. We're really seeing now over the last year how also adaptable and flexible our healthy clubs are. That might maybe go into the definition. It's a working definition in the future, because we're really seeing, I suppose, how resilient our healthy clubs are over the last year in particular. And where we have came from, Colin and Tony mentioned earlier, so we started out in phase 1 as a very small pilot there with 16 clubs covering 9,700 members. And every 2 years we open up a new phase of the project. So we are now currently in phase 4, where we have 300 clubs and with a membership in total of 160,000 members, which is phenomenal. In phase 5, I know there was a few questions coming up on the chat there. This time next year, we will be launching phase 5, but expressions of interest to apply will go live in either October or November this year, and that'll be through the GAA's website. And you'll get a follow-up email after today with that information for any clubs that are interested. You can see here the nice visual. We started off with 16 clubs, now we're at 300 clubs, and there's multiples in every county across Ireland. And I'm very proud to say we have 3 international clubs as well in Abu Dhabi, the Netherlands and Canada. And we actually will have Montreal Shamrocks delivering a case study shortly on how their club became more inclusive as well, so stay tuned for that. And just as well, to give you kind of an insight, that's 20% of our healthy clubs, 20% of all the clubs in the association are now healthy clubs. So we're hoping to keep this movement going, and hope to have some new clubs involved in phase 5. To give you a bit of an idea then on what healthy clubs focus on, you can see here in this slide the common themes. So just to mention that, I suppose we don't tell healthy clubs what to do. They consult with their club members, with the wider community, to see what areas of health that they want to focus on and what they want to prioritise. And you can see these are the kind of common themes that come up over the next year. Physical activity is usually, no surprise, is one of the leading ones. And I suppose it's a bit different this year. Colin mentioned the step challenge there earlier. I suppose it's not our traditional healthy club activities like having walking groups or physical activity classes. So just to kind of reassure clubs that the Healthy Club project is quite flexible, and that you are really showing your flexibility here as well. It's not maybe the traditional activities that you're doing, but you've seen with COVID and the community response as well, that would tie in under community development there, how clubs are adapting and responding to the current situation. Then diversity and inclusion, I won't spend too much time on that because we have a case study later on it. Substance use, Tony mentioned the percentage of clubs that have gone smoke-free, and then followed by mental fitness. I actually think maybe in the coming years that this will shoot up massively. I think after the pandemic, the impacts of the pandemic is having on people, I think this will become a major focus in the years ahead. Clubs have been focusing on healthy eating as well, and there's a case study on that shortly, so I won't spend too much time on any of these areas because the clubs will go into them in much more detail. Then just to kind of give you an idea for clubs who have never heard about the Healthy Club project before or not sure what exactly it entails, these are the 7 steps that healthy clubs follow. and you can look through them there yourselves, but it does involve training. It's like a health promotion training module that we deliver that has been adapted for healthy clubs, and it is based on best practice for health promotion settings. So clubs, I mentioned already that they do a mapping exercise. So you receive training on these different areas, how to conduct a mapping exercise, how to develop your action plan based on that, how to roll it out, how to launch, information on communication and getting your message out there. And then very importantly, one step that clubs tend to maybe forget on step 7 is how to document what you're doing and make sure you're getting recognition for what you're doing and learning and documenting as you go along. This might seem like a lot of work when you're looking at these 7 steps, but I would like to reassure clubs as well that what we've learned over the years is that many clubs are doing these steps organically. What the Healthy Club project does is put a kind of a structure around that and helps clubs ensure that the practices and the philosophy of Healthy Club are really embedded into the club culture. And that they build on it year on year. So it's not really that once you reach 7 steps that it stops. It rolls into every year and you build on the small wins that you make every year. Usually the officer training is delivered through your county health and wellbeing committees, but we will, because of the pandemic, obviously we're going to be delivering this virtually, and the dates were on the slide there. You might have seen them previously on the 24th of February, I think it is, and the 31st of March. So stay tuned and you can register for those dates. You'll get the information in the follow-up email. And you can see here on the slides, here are some of the benefits. You might think, okay, that seems like a lot of work. Why should I actually get involved and why should we do this? So you can see on the slide, there's numerous benefits for your clubs. So that in terms of more members, attracting new volunteers. So when you're actually opening up your club to the wider community and providing an alternative to the traditional Gaelic games, you will find you'll attract new people and that it will bring a lot of community goodwill, and it also opens up funding and sponsorship opportunities for clubs as well. I won't spend too long on these because we're going to have numerous case studies coming up and you'll actually see the clubs themselves organically highlighting the benefits of getting involved in the Healthy Club project. But we haven't met many clubs that have actually regretted getting involved so far. The ultimate aim then of the Healthy Club project is to reach all clubs in the association, that every club becomes a healthy club. So as I said, in phase 5, which will be opening up this time next year, but the applications will be going live in October or November this year. So you can see here on the final slide, just some key dates to remember. And as I said, you will get a follow-up email with all this information, so don't panic. And we'd love to see the clubs, some new clubs coming on board after today, and the clubs that are involved so far, just congratulations, keep up the brilliant work. You're doing phenomenal stuff. Thank you.
Thanks a million, Aoife, and caught up some time nicely there. We're just running 10 minutes over, folks, so we'll try to make that time up over the course of the day and maybe trim a little bit off the breaks because we know people can dip in and out of this as you go along. So without further ado, I'm going to start a bit of a conversation here with some of our Healthy Club representatives about their experiences, so you'll get a feel from the clubs themselves. And I'm going to go over to Linda first, Linda Donoghue with the Noamh Mairtin Club in County Louth. Morning, Linda, how are you?
Hi, Colin, how are you? I'm a bit nervous.
That's all right, we'll walk you through nice and gently. Linda, we're delighted to have you. And the Noamh Mairtin Club, myself and Linda had a wee chat a couple of days ago just about what we might cover here. And the Noamh Mairtin Club has done some really phenomenal work, outreach work, both into the neighbouring reception centre down in Belseskin. But Linda, one of the things that really caught my eye when we were talking was the trip you did back in October 2009 with some older members of your community up to Croke Park.
Yeah, we as part of the health and wellbeing, we want to try and reach out to our members, but also the wider community. And we wanted to do a thank you for the older members in our club that have done so much in Noamh Mairtin through the years. So we decided, through funding of our club and also through the Healthy Club funding, we decided to invite the older members and older members of the community to Croke Park for a day. So we had a trip up to Croke Park for a tour of the park and the museum, and we lunched up there, and it really was brilliant. We'd over around 40 people, and the crack, was a brilliant day out, and people still talk about it, and hopefully now when we can get back to seeing people face to face and organising things like that, we'll do it. But we want to just say thank you for so many of the older members have done so much for our club through the years, and it was a thank you to them.
I'm sure the memories have been very important over the last couple of months when they haven't been able to get out as much, and maybe some of them might be forced to cocoon and the likes as well, Linda. And from your perspective then, as a club as a whole, how do you feel that your involvement in the Healthy Club journey has impacted the Noamh Mairtin Club?
Well, it's brought so many benefits to our club, from different things becoming like smoke free to we've done the suicide awareness training, CPR training, linking in, we try and think outside the box, linking in with different organisations like the RNLI, the RSA, the community GAAs. We bring all these groups and try and bring them into the club, but it's extremely beneficial for the club and the community. We have got new members through the club, and then it brings a sense of connection and inclusion across the whole community. So we in Noamh Mairtin, we want people to think it's not just a club for GAA. It's about a lot more than that. We don't want to think, because there's a lot of people say in the community that may never have played or may never have stepped foot into our club rooms, but we want them to know that they're welcome into Noamh Mairtin. So any of the activities we organise, the information talks, the drug and alcohol gambling awareness talks, we open it up to the whole community. So it doesn't matter if you're not a member. And the same, we organise different social membership for the use of the track and the running club and fitness. So we just want people to know that it's not just about GAA and playing matches, winning matches. It's a lot. Noamh Mairtin's about a lot more than that.
Brilliant, Linda. And I know that Anya O'Hockey there as chair of the County Health and Wellbeing Committee is a great support to the clubs in Louth.
Yeah.
How important is the support of the club executive in driving this agenda?
Oh, it's like we wouldn't be able to have our committee without everyone in the club helping out, from the chairperson the whole way through, from the children's officer, everyone helping out, and also within our club, and it's the same for all the clubs throughout the country. There's so many resources within the club that you can tap into. You could have social workers, nutritionists, fitness instructors. So there's so many different people and on the committee that you can tap into and gain knowledge from them to bring into the club. Exactly, and that's when we look at the 4 building blocks of a healthy club, partnership is one of those, and you can find those partners in your club and you can find them in the community. And Linda, you also, I know we saw some brilliant footage there of the video with the GAAN fishermen that were getting to experience Gaelic games in another of our healthy clubs up north. Like, you reached out to to your local centre down the road to also open the club up to the residents there. Yeah, we brought a group of asylum seekers from Balsaskan Reception Centre up in Finglas up to Noamh Mairtin. Basically, Balsaskan is a reception centre, so newly arrived asylum seekers into Ireland. So we knew they wouldn't have had any experience of GAA. So we brought them up to Noamh Mairtin, gave them taster sessions of GAA and invited the community along. And we launched our new GAA manifesto, Where We Belong signage on that day. And a couple of weeks before we asked the community to donate any old GAA jerseys, football boots, things like that, and old Noamh Mairtin jerseys. And then when the Balsaskan residents came to Noamh Mairtin, we presented them with the donations. So hopefully there's Noamh Mairtin jerseys running around all parts of Ireland. Brilliant, Linda. Well, listen, we could chat all day about this, and I know we'll be hearing from the Noamh Mairtin Club again, but thank you so much for your contribution, and I hope it wasn't too painful and nerve-inducing for you. It was brilliant to hear from you, and keep up the fantastic work. Thanks to me. Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you. So I'm going to jump across now to Maire. Maire's the Healthy Club officer in the Michael Davitt's club up in Swatragh. Maire, how are you this morning? I'm not too bad, Colin, thank you. A wee bit of snow, so at least we didn't have to go to Dublin. Great stuff. Well, we're delighted you can join us virtually and tell a little bit about your story. And the Michael Davitt's joined the Healthy Club project in phase 2, if I'm correct. Yes. Yeah. Seamus Kearney was the main instigator behind that.
he had actually seen a report on the pilot and thought this would be a good idea to bring it to our club. So he applied and was accepted, and he basically started off with carrying out a community consultation and developed an action plan from that there on the physical side, the social, mental and dietary. So from that there, he organised events from that. A big event that was organised was Slim Possible, which was around this time of year, which is perfect when people are wanting to get fit again. It was a few years ago. He had 138 people signed up and they all together lost 58 stone. So that was a really big event that took off well. From that, a lot of people basically signed up to local gyms and all. So the fitness has kept going on from that there. He organised a Swatragh event. It was basically groups of people brought together to their fitness. There was always had to be somebody over 35, at least a female on the team. Like we teams to involve it just wasn't going to be a group of 4 fellas from the football team that were going to clean up, just making it fair. So I think it was a fun event. It was bringing the fun into it all. So it was a success. And as Linda said, he also organised the Croke Park visit to bring in, bring the older members for a visit down the museum and a day out, and it was very successful. He was really busy.
Very, very busy. And just to let maybe some of the delegates who are online that mightn't be overly familiar with the Healthy Club project, the Healthy Clubs, through their involvement, do receive a grant thanks to our support from Irish Life and Healthy Ireland to support some, if there is some cost associated maybe with trips like that. And then our county health and wellbeing committees also receive a small grant each year. It's only €500, but it also goes towards, we recommend towards facilitating a trip for older members of the GAA to the Croke Park Museum. And Maire, what about, a couple of years on now, how did you get involved as Healthy Club officer?
By default, I think. It was actually a personal thing that wanted me to get involved, was breast cancer. And myself and another girl within the club, we wanted to bring the Action Cancer big bus to the club. So we spoke to Seamus, we joined the committee, and we've had the Action Cancer big bus to Michael Davitt and Swatragh 4 times. Now, the first time it came was in February 2018, and you have to be 40 to get on it. So as a birthday present to my sister-in-law, who just turned 40 3 or 4 days before, she went, and lucky and unlucky, they actually were able to diagnose breast cancer, which you wouldn't have wanted and investigated other than that. So it has been a good thing that's been brought to the club. Had it not been for that, you don't know. So it has been well supported. As I say, it's fully booked the 4 times that it came. We were due to bring it again now in February, but unfortunately, due to circumstances of COVID, they're not able to provide the service. The health checks for men was really well taken up as well within it, because as well as doing breast screening, they do health checks. It's open to everybody, but big uptake from the men on it, which is good to see as well.
And we know there's a lot of evidence around like that men may come to get those sort of health checks in a setting like their local GAA club rather than going down to their primary care centre. Yeah, and it was open to the wider community. It wasn't just club members. It was open, like it was well advertised, so that it says a community thing as well as a club thing. And my sister-in-law, she wasn't even a club member, but she was able to avail of it, and thankfully it worked, Also, Seamus started off bringing the blood donations, which it has come now. We had it there before Christmas. We're fortunate we have a really big hall, so it worked well with current restrictions. It was fully booked, I think over 100 donations. So it's really important that still goes on, even with lockdown, so to speak. So it's an absolute wealth of stuff that you're doing up there. And sometimes I know some clubs, sometimes when they tune into these events, they can be intimidated by when they hear what clubs are doing. But you, as you said, you asked your community what they wanted to do through the community consultation, and that's part of the process of the Healthy Club, one of the steps. And then if you take it one project at a time, you can get through. It probably even surprise yourselves how much stuff you can get through.
Well, you have a variety of members within the group as well. Like we've set up bowls, indoor bowls for, you know, the older members within the club, that it gives them something, and it's been very well received. They were, well, before all this, they were able to meet up and play their game of bowls and just have a wee catch up with a wee cup of tea, and it was really well received. So it's worked well. We have suicide awareness training. As you see, we did the Walk a Million. We promoted that there. We had a representative from Alps came and walked with us, and it's really important, suicide awareness, especially at times like this. So we're always trying to promote that it's good to walk and talk. You know?
Exactly. Listen, again, I could chat to you all day, and I'm just conscious of time here. So thanks so much for your contribution. And I know I did miss a question on the chat when the Chief Medical Officer was on, just to ask him about how to support people that are isolated during these times around their mental health. We did do a couple of webinars during the summer specifically on that topic, and we will share the links to those with all attendees again afterwards. I suppose the one thing we try to emphasize here, that mental health, it doesn't exist out in that bubble, and as Moira said there, you know, physical activity supports mental health, eating well supports mental health, knowing that there's a club there that cares about you and is trying to provide opportunities for you supports people's sense of connectivity, which supports mental health. We can always do things directly targeted at mental health as well, and we cover a lot of those ideas and opportunities in those webinars, so we'll be sure to share those links with everybody. But all today's topics as well, in their own way, support people's mental health too. So Moira, thanks so much. That's inspirational stuff. Lovely to have you. And I'm going to go down the other end of the country now, down to Cork, to Mairéad, who is the Healthy Club Officer down in Midleton. Mairéad, good morning, how are you?
Morning, Colin, I'm great, thanks.
Great to have you, and hope all is well. You've been with us from the start, Mairéad, the Midleton Club, and I remember Pierce did Trojan work in getting the concept of the Healthy Club embedded into Midleton. So from back in phase 1, and you can see Pierce in that picture with the Chief Medical Officer. So, you know, looking back now, that was 2014 when you started your journey, into 2021 now. Do you still very much see the evidence of the Healthy Club journey in the Midleton Club?
Definitely. I think you know, over the years we've done different things. As you say, Pierce was definitely the driving force in the initial years, and then he roped me in as kind of an unsuspecting passenger. But I've taken over the mantle from Pierce, and I have to say that it's been fantastic. I think we've engaged very well with our club members. We try to run activities that are club member based. You know, sometimes we put out maybe a request, have you any ideas, but people aren't very forthcoming in a general setting, but they will come on a one-to-one basis. I mean, they might ring me or something like that and say, look, perhaps we could do this. But anything that we've been asked to do, we try to do it, and we've done some very good things over the last few years. We ran a very successful Cork Beats Stress campaign. Our initial one was in conjunction with St. Finbarr's, but then we ran a second one ourselves for just the Midleton area, which was very, very successful. But I think in the last 2 years, the highlight, personally anyway, has been the success of our GAA for All. So that has been run in conjunction with the Healthy Club, and Healthy Club have given support and help to our coordinator Gillian Murphy, who I have to say is just a rock star and has driven all of this on. So, you know, I think we, as a club, I think we are trying to reach every area of our community.
Absolutely, Rita, and I think you're being modest there in terms of even that Cork Beat Stress was an award-winning initiative that the club rolled out, and they were partnering with the HSE Psychological Services to deliver a 6-week stress control program. And actually, in the pandemic now, that stress control program is available online, and we do share our links regularly through our County Health and Wellbeing Committee. So, you know, in terms of, I know, not as Breed pointed out, not everybody can access supports online, but it is one way that we can support our clubs, and by sharing that type of public health information and access to online opportunities is one thing we can do in these challenges. times. And as you said, Mairéad, the work with the Midleton GAA for All again is just absolutely inspirational stuff. How you've managed to keep really passionate people involved in the Healthy Club project team there in the club as well?
We have, I think that's luck really, Colin. I think we've been very, very lucky with the people who from the initial startup with the Healthy Club, I think we've been very lucky with the people involved. And I think it's you know, you think of ideas, or ideas are brought to you, and then you think of the person that might be the person to go to for that. And I think when you go to somebody with an idea, I've certainly found anyway that people are very, very willing to help out. They're very willing to give their time, their ideas, and do as much as they can do to get an initiative off the ground and support it.
Brilliant. And I suppose, Mairéad, the big thing is that unless they're asked, they don't know that
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Mairéad, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for your continued support and all your efforts there as Healthy Club officer as well.
Can I just say, Colin, that I think the Croke Park Healthy Club team, they're a huge asset, and in particular Aoife O'Brien is who I deal with, and I have to say the support is absolutely amazing, and the information that we've gotten, particularly over the pandemic, with regard to online and any resources that are required by club members, it has been fantastic. So I'd just like to say thanks very much for that.
Thanks very much, Mairéad. That's much appreciated. We are absolutely blessed with the quality of the